Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. My name's AJ and we're back on another devlog. Can you believe it? Number 6. I've done a little bit of work, like I said I was going to do off camera. Not too much though. Basically, I've just got dedicated first floor rooms, second floor rooms and third floor rooms. That's all I've really done off camera. But the biggest change that I've done is made the, I'll call it the throne room for the minute, our little goal room. Oh, by the way, I need to extend these things down, don't we? We need to go there, and that, and that, and that, and just puts a little bit more detail on there. I've made this a third floor room only now. See, 1, 2, 3. Although the chest is technically on 4, just how the room goes up a staircase. But the reason that I've done this is that when you generate a world now, or generate a level, the chest is always at the highest point on the map. If we go out of here, so we've generated a new level, and as you can see, the chest is now the highest point, which means each level that you play, you sort of always want to head upwards. I think that's sort of a good way to navigate around the room, is know that you need to go up. The throne room's never going to be low down, so whenever you find a staircase, it's probably a good idea to go up. Let's maximize this up. And I'll show you, because the new staircase I think looks a lot neater than the other one. It feels so much better to play now as well. Let's go. I think we're gonna have to go this way. So like I said, you want to really go uphill when you can, but we know we want to go through the traps. Yeah. Nope. I didn't do it. Let's try again. Okay, I think up this way will be a good one. Look how cool does it look now with like the staircases and everything. Still got the curved ones in as well. But it's making like really tight, really cool looking levels. We can just jump over the edge here. I think, let me just have a check up this way. Yeah, this is the way. So basically, yeah, you just want to head up as high as you can, and you'll complete the level. Excellent. There is one thing that's annoying me though, and that's when we fall off the level, it just sort of jump cuts us straight back to the start. And I don't like that. I think just a simple transition, like a black screen that wipes in and wipes out, will make things look a little bit smoother, a little bit more polished. So that's the first thing that I want to do today. I think we should be able to do that if we go into our generation scene. I think we're going to make a new canvas. This canvas currently just holds the scores, but I'm going to have another canvas that is going to be used for transitions. So I'm going to get that set up. Okay, the way that I think I'm going to do this transition is just with animations, and the way that I've got it set up currently is I've got the transitions canvas, and I have a left rectangle, woo, and I have a right rectangle, woo, like this, and on the canvas I have an animator, and in this animator we have the start, which is just closed. For the moment I've got them white. In fact, we can just change them to black now. I had them white so I could see, so we can have them black. And then I have an open transition. If we go on here and click on this, a little bit complicated, we go on open, and then we can, oh no, I can't. That's why I had them white, so we could see it. There we go. We have them white, and then as I move the timeline, the white pieces move out the way. We can see them better here, look. So at the beginning of the level, it goes whoop and pulls out the way. However, I have just noticed if we do make them black, the dungeons cleared and high score is above the transition. And I think we can solve this by changing the sort order like that. I'll just stick it on 10. That's better. So now when it reveals, it'll reveal the UI behind it. I think that's cool. I think we can keep it grey as well for the moment. So we can test this now. We don't have the full death animation, but at the beginning of the level, if we hit play, it should wipe open. Lovely. I like that. Just half a second long. You don't want it to be long and each time that it happens. But what we need to do now is have another one. We shall have another state, and I shall just call this close. And we shall make a transition from open to close. I don't think that we'll need one from close to open, at least not yet, because the scene resets, so it will always go back to start and then go back to open again. So we also want a parameter here. We're going to have a trigger. We shall have a trigger, and we shall call it close transition, I think. So that's on open to close. Conditions, close transition. So it'll only go over to close if we trigger it. We're also going to need a new animation as well. Create animation, close transition. I so need to organize my asset folder as well. It's like getting a bit of out of hand here. Close. So we'll put that on there. And now I should be able to go back onto the scene. And get back into our scene. Generation. Click this one. And then close transition. And the close transition of the left one is going to start at minus 15,000. That's the wrong way. At 15,000. And at half a second in, we are going to bring it back to the center like that. And then the right hand one, we'll put the timer back again. The right hand one we shall put over here and then drag that in at half a second in. I just wanted just to be touching perfect. I think that's perfect. That should do. We should stop recording that. And then I think if we go into a script here, which one do we want? We want void touch reset. We'll just do it from falling off at the moment. We will add it to the treasure chest one as well. Okay, apparently I had a bit of a brain fart moment. When you're trying to reference the animation controller in a script, it's not animation controller. Oh no, it's just animator. Who knew? Animator. Oh, and I think it'll be easier just for me to reference it myself, I think. So we won't forget to drag that in afterwards. Now, we need to change this section here because we could say animator set trigger. Set trigger to, what did we call it? Close transition, I think, didn't we? So we could do that. And technically that should work, and it would start the transition, but it would reset the level straight away, so you wouldn't really see the transition. So basically, we want to set this probably as its own method for the moment, like this, and we shall call it reset dungeon. Okay, so it's doing this at the moment. It's doing the same thing. We've just moved it into its own section, but we want to put a little bit of a delay on this before it happens. And there's two ways that we can do it. We can do it with an invoke, or we can do it with a coroutine. I think that maybe the easiest way at the moment would just be an invoke. It would probably work fine. Reset dungeon. It does use a string, which means strings, by the way, are like these things when they're in these what they call, like, speech marks, whatever you call them. I can't remember what the actual word for them are, which isn't great, but hello, virus defender, go away. It not a good thing to do when you're like expanding a project really big, but I think for the moment we should be okay. And we can put a time that we want it to delay before triggering, and we know that our animation lasts half a second. So I'm hoping that this will make the animation happen, and then half a second later we'll reset the world, or reset the dungeon. 2 hours later, we can stick back on the initialized scene here, and it should wipe open our nice grey boxes. Okay, and then when we roll off, okay, oh yeah, we never said it. I told you guys to remind me to set it. Look, it says here, it hasn't referenced. I told you guys, and you guys didn't tell me. We want it on transition canvas. Where did I put it? Where is that? It's on the ball. Oh, that's a bad thing then. Okay, I need to have a think. Yeah, so I was referencing it here on the marble itself, as you can see. But if I drag this in here, well, it's not even working there. It's bad, not a good thing. But maybe if we go on the transition canvas here, I can sort of cheat my way around. We can have a transition or transitions tag. Let's make that transitions. And then we can go back into our script here. Let's take away the serialized field. And we can say animator equals, and be like a game object, find game object with tag transitions, get component animator, animator. I wonder if that would work. That might work. We can only test and find out. Who knows? Compile up again. 2 hours later. Nope. Okay, clear. Initialize, save. Okay, let's go again. Let's see if this automatically finds it now. It's always better if it does automatically find stuff. Roll off. Oh, it did. There was a little bit of lag there. It might be because it was just the little first go at it. Okay, that didn't work that time though. And it's not going to work this time. Because it... Or is it? Is it working? We could probably test it by going onto here. And we should be able to see it happening. Right? So if we go on to transition canvas, you can see it's on open at the moment. This little blue line. We'll debug this together. And if I go off, the arrow goes over. I wonder, let me add a little bit more of a delay. Let's add a second delay to this. Maybe it's triggering it a little too quickly. There might also be something to do with like it trying to do it at the same time. I think I've ran into this problem before, but I can't remember how I solved it last time. And then let's go back on here quickly before I roll off. And off we go. That's better. And then try again. I like it. That is now working a lot better. It was just going too quickly. It was trying to do too many things at once. But now the transition goes in and comes out again. I could probably dial that back. Maybe like 0.75 now. Okay, I'm just putting it on the treasure chest now. I have renamed it to Transitions Animator instead of just Animator. Makes more sense. And I am changing this to a coroutine instead of the stringed invoke, which just means I have to change this part to IEnumerator and add this little line, which has the time in, which is 0.75 seconds. So we can just basically, I think, copy and paste this over now as well. So it may, no, not quite yet. We'll do that in here, and then I shall just grab all of this. We'll do it by hand. Extract method, and we shall say, what do we want? Increase score and reset dungeon. Okay, we'll do that. And then I shall call it, I shall change this to IEnumerator, just because I haven't shown you this before. And we shall say yield, return, new, wait 4 seconds, 0.75 F. And I think that should now work when we hit the treasure chest as well as falling off the level. There's only one way to test it out. And I lightened these boxes up a little bit so they're not black. I just sort of made them a little bit of a darker grey just so you can sort of see the difference when it swipes in. I think that's pretty good. I think that's better than what I had before. Okay. Initialize. And then up. Let's see if this works. We eventually got there. Okay, it did work. Oh, it didn't work. Oh, I can actually still move in the background. You can see a little slither on the left-hand side there. Okay, so what's going on there then? I'm an absolute donkey. These red dots, these are really annoying, right? Because they appear when you press F9, but the start recording button for my OBS, I have to F9. I just need to change it because every time I press F9, look, it makes a red dot at wherever my cursor is. Very, very frustrating. I know what the issue is. Look at this, huh? I just didn't put the start coroutine in here. And that should solve the issue. I can't believe I missed that. What a thing. I was also thinking, though, because we have it currently set as like a trigger on the treasure chest, which technically means, as you'll be able to see, we'll do it now, you can roll through the treasure chest. The treasure chest technically doesn't have a collider, and it works great for what we need, apart from, because there's a delay now from the transition, we will probably see ourselves go through it. Ooh, I nearly made it all the way through then. I'm back at the beginning again. Went the wrong way. We'll probably see ourselves go through the chest, which isn't good. And I think the way that I can solve that is maybe when we touch the treasure chest, we stop the ball and disable the controls, the player's controls. I think that will probably help that out. But for testing... Oh, made it. No. Oh. Okay, I made it. I made it this time. So, as you can see, we travelled through the ball, but it has reset. Okay, so it's all functioning right. Let's do what I said there. Let's stop the ball when you touch the chest. Okay, I have edited the script. I haven't tested it yet. I like to test things with you because if it goes wrong and there's a funny bug, I find it hilarious and it's funny to share. This is what I've got. So I'm referencing the marble controller now inside of our treasure chest script. And when we touch the treasure chest, we disable the script to control the ball. So then the controller won't work, the keyboard won't work, nothing like that. It just disables all of our controls. And we make the rigid body of the marble kinematic, I'm hoping, which basically means it doesn't move, like in simplest terms. So let's go and find a treasure chest and touch it and see if we stop now. Okay, here we go. So I should stop, which we do, and it resets. Oh, I nearly rolled forward then. I was holding forward on my controller still to try and prove to myself that we had disabled it correctly, and we had. So me rolling forward at the beginning of the next level there was my fault, not the game's fault. Let's try one more, and then do a little shortcut up there. Again, we should stop. Let's hit it from that side. Perfect. We were in a mid bounce then as well. Very happy. I moved away from the mic. I'm sorry. And our high score updated. Sweet. Marvellous. I cut away for a moment. I went and had some lunch. I'm all fueled up. Good ham sandwich and a drink and a chocolate bar. And we're ready to go again. I do want to mention just though about this transition canvas. We can change the shapes. At the moment, you know, it's only the two rectangles that sort of slide away from each other. We can change the shape whenever we want to whatever we want. So we could have it like a jigsaw piece or some kind of better cool effect. The code shouldn't really change at all now. We can just change the shapes to whatever we want and just change the animations to suit. So it should be quite cool. The next thing that I want to do though is to be able to pause the game. So I've just added another canvas here with another white rectangle. Again, it's white just so I can see it during testing. Blech. Words. English. Have you ever tried to English? And this should be a little bit simpler. I want this just to appear and disappear. In fact, I don't need an animator on there. I just want it to appear and disappear. I don't want it to be full opacity though. Opacity. I just want it to be like a little bit light, something like this, so we can still see through it when we pause the game. I think that should be quite good. So it's basically enabling and disabling this image, basically, you know, unpaused and paused. And I did make the canvas go above the transitions as well, just in case. I don't know if we'll be able to pause the game during the transition, but if we can, we want it to be layered correctly, so I've just gone ahead and done that already. Okay, so to the pause canvas, I've just added a pause game script at the moment. As you can see, it has literally nothing in it. We need to go into our project settings and our input manager here and add a new button. We've got the cancel button here, which is currently escape. I'm going to duplicate this, duplicate array element, and we're going to change this to I'll call it pause, I think. And for testing purposes during development in the editor, it's not going to be the escape key, which would normally be your pause button, I would say, when you're on a keyboard. Escape doesn't do anything in the editor, so we're going to change it to tab, and we can just pause the game with tab. And I want it to also be on the controller on the start button. Now I'll put it up on the screen now for you, but I have a map of the Xbox One controllers, buttons, the accesses and all this kind of stuff. And I'm pretty sure that the start button, what I call the start button on a controller, is joystick button number 7. And I think that'll do the same thing, so we can basically pause the game with either tab or the start button. I might be wrong, who knows, we'll just see. So before I get too ahead of myself, let's just make sure that what we've got here is actually working. Let's disable this image. This is what we're going to be enabling and disabling, by the way. Just this is what the pause is going to do for the moment. We don't want it to be paused when we first start off the game, so let's disable that. Go into our script and we can say if input get button down. Now we want get button down, not get button. If you do get button, it's going to activate every frame that the button is held down. So if you hold the pause button down for slightly too long, it's going to like turn it on off really quickly. We don't want that. We just want it to happen the once. So we can say pause. If we hit the pause button, we can say print game paused. Now I use print. Everybody else seems to use debug.log. The reason why I use print is because it's less letters. It's literally less letters to type, and it seems to do the same thing. I don't know what the real difference is. Maybe if you know, you can let me know in the comment section. But I usually just write print as less letters. Ooh, what we got here? Oh, that's because I didn't start it from. That's my bad. I didn't start it from here. But now we can click on here. If I hit tab on the keyboard, boop, game paused. And if I press it again, boop, it comes up 2. It's activated twice. And if I go onto my controller, you'll just have to trust me. I'm pushing the start button on my controller. Boop, it's gone up to 3. And if we press it again, boop, it goes up to 4. Cool. So the controller is registering and the keyboard is registering. That's exactly what we need. So what I've got to do now is change this to actually do something. And I think we're going to need serialize field image. Ooh, nope. Okay, we need using Unity engine .ui, and then that'll allow me just to have image. What do we want? Pause image, I shall call it. And I can't remember the shorthand way to do this. There's a way that I could do this all with one line of code. I can't remember what it is, so I'm just going to make it read correct, I suppose. So we're going to say if pause image enabled. So if the game is paused, pause image enabled equals false. So unpause the game. Else, if the game is not paused, then we can make it true and pause the game. That should work, I think. So we'll go back on, let it compile up, go into our generation, go into our pause canvas, and as I said, this is what we're going to be toggling on and off. So we want to drag our image into here, go back onto initialize. This won't technically pause the game because I think everything's going to still be running in the background, but we should. There we go, and the image has come up and we can get rid of it. Pause, unpause, pause, unpause. It doesn't actually pause, obviously, because we can still move. So that's the next thing. Does it work with my controller? Unpause, pause, unpause, pause. Excellent. So to actually pause the game, we should just be able to do, what is it, time scale equals 0. And when we unpause the game equals 1, I think it might be as simple as that. And I'm hoping that when the time scale is 0, we can still push the button. I hope. We'll find out. We'll find out. So maximize now. Load it up. Pause. Cool. The fires have stopped. The particles effect have stopped. I can't use my keys on the keyboard. And I can't use the analog sticks to move. Okay, unpause with the controller. And we can move again. And let's pause while moving. Excellent. Game is paused and unpaused. Sweet. I shall dress it up a little bit. Okay, I had to change it a little bit. Okay, so our pause screen now is in a game object, an empty game object, which includes at the moment two things: the image, which is the rectangle. I've changed the color from white to black and made it a little bit less opacity, transparent, a little bit more see-through, and I've added a text of just saying game paused using the font that we had before that we used for our high score system. It just says game paused. We can disable that, but that does mean, because I'm not just enabling and disabling an image, I did have to change the script a little bit. So I've changed to game object from image, which means I don't need that anymore either. And I had to change from the enabled stuff to active self, and I now set active false and set active true. Not really that much of a change, but as you can see now, when we play the game, come on, speed up. Initialize, save, boom, go crazy at me. When we play it, if I hit pause, it then says game paused. The screen darkens up. I think that feels pretty good. We can do it like in mid-air and carry on going. It saves like because it's not really changing anything as far as like the physics goes. We keep momentum and we keep speed and all this kind of stuff. Can I pause on a transition? I can when I'm starting up there. If I fall off here and catch it really quick. Oh, I can, yeah. We can pause it when we're dying as well. I like that. That's really handy to have. Oh, and I did fix, we could see a little tiny slither at the left of the screen here. I fixed that as well when the transition comes in and out. So yeah, we can now pause the game and unpause the game, and I'm very chuffed with that. That is, though, unfortunately, all I've got time for today. If you enjoyed the episode, the devlog, then hit that like button. If you haven't already, then feel free to subscribe. I fall off edge again. I don't know what we're going to be moving on to next episode. I'd really like to get some more traps and stuff going. I think actually getting some content into the game. But yeah, we're moving towards that full game loop that we've been banging on about for the last a few devlogs. We've nearly got it completed. Certainly moving closer and closer. No, I fell off. Screw it. See you guys in the next devlog.